Next week is Angie and Kim. We were joined by Cameron. Thank you. And we will be led in prayer by Karen.
Oh God, we gather once again as men and women committed to the values espoused by Rotarians everywhere. Values and virtues desperately needing to be infused into our culture. We believe the qualities which characterize Rotarianism at its best have their origin in your will and purpose. We pray, therefore, for divine assistance as we seek to get them into our social, business, and professional structures, that they become the accepted basis for their behavior. Amen.
Amen. Join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Turn that off because I don't want to sing into the mic. Okay, today we're going to do your grand old flag. You're a grand old flag, you're a high concrete flag. Please say you're the emblem of land I love, the home of the free and the brave. Every heart beats true for the red, white, and blue, where there's never a post or rag. Show it all and speed for God. Keep your eye on the grand old flag. Great. All right. Acting Secretary.
We lost your microphone.
Okay.
You're good.
Thank you. All right, where's Graham?
Today's meeting date is the 4th of February.
Yay.
There are no visiting Rotarians, no guests, and no prospective members. And the last string is always out at Miamisburg Rotary.
All right, it's time for announcements. I just have one quick one to start off. Well, actually, I have two. There's a committee meeting for a night at the races right after the regular meeting, so please be sure to stay for that. Second, because we missed our meeting last week and we didn't have the four-way test, I checked with Amy. They did on Monday. The kids did their speeches, so some of you were there, and we had a winner. Do you either know what the name of the winner was?
The top winner, the first place was Amy Shreve's daughter, Hannah Shreve.
Okay, right.
She was the first place. I don't remember the second
Okay,
name of the
that's
second
okay.
place gal. It's not able to go to the next step that
Yes.
the second place court.
There's a time frame though where you have to have the speeches done in time to have your winner to go to district. And that's all set up already, so that's why they have to go ahead and do it without us. Okay, second announcement, Brian has done some flyers for us. And he's going to talk about it a little bit. They're on your table.
Okay, so everybody knows about the night of the races coming up. So what I do today is not for public consumption per se. This is just for us as Rotarians to have. The front side, the yellow side, is the public-facing poster that's being created. So I ordered 25 of these poster size. They should be here next week. We can put these up around town and things like that. And then the blue side is the sponsorship side. We have these coming as well, but not poster size. I'll be able to pass all of these out hopefully at next meeting as well. As Rotarians, it's important for us to both participate, yellow side, and acquire sponsors and people to buy horses and sponsor horses and things like that. So hopefully this is a good tool for you, and have the actual print pieces hopefully next week.
Okay, great, thanks. Any other announcements? Okay, then moving on. Cole, one of the refund back.
Okay, who would like to answer the question today? Thank you for volunteering. Brian. Rotary, hang on, we'll get this handy dandy tool out here. Okay, so the question is, why is it called Rotary? What is the origin of the name Rotary?
All right. Table will be thinking about that while we do happy dollars. Is anybody happy this week?
I'll start this out appropriately. Hopefully you all were here when I told my joke last week about the dog in the zoo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That, well, the next day I saw a new one and I thought this was even better. I'm going to be a comic by the end of the year. I found out to open a zoo, you really should have a panda bear, a grizzly bear, and a polar bear. That's the bare minimum.
Okay. Is anybody happy that he quit?
$2. Happy $2. And in 2 more months, April will be here. I got $20.
No.
Now, first of all,
Bob, you would be happy to know this, despite the predictions of Punxsutawney Phil, Buckeye Chuck, and Walnut, the Boonshot Museum's hedgehog, did not see their shadow. So it's going to be an early spring.
Oh, that would be lovely.
Secondly, I've got a happy dollar and a crop dollar and sort of a public service announcement. Back in September, I had a colonoscopy, and there was a cancerous polyp.
Oh.
And so they removed it successfully, and I was going to move on with my life. But I was encouraged to have an operation to remove part of my colon and my appendix and lymph nodes, all of which were benign. So,
Good.
but anyway, my public service announcement is make sure you get your colonoscopies.
Yes.
Wow.
And my thanks go to my sister, who's an RN, my wife, and Dr. Ashcraft, who all assisted.
I twisted his arm.
that I have this surgery that I was just going to blow off. So thanks to them. And
But tell him how long you were in the hospital,
2.5 days.
which is phenomenal.
Yeah,
So,
I have 5 holes in my abdomen area plus a slice across the top. Anyway, it worked out for the best. So thanks to them.
Yeah.
Due to HIPAA, I couldn't say any of that, but he did, so that's great. I am $10 happy, mainly because I'm here. The Thursday before the big winter storm, I flew down to Myrtle Beach to see my mom, and I was supposed to fly back on Sunday. But on Friday, I decided maybe I should move it to Monday, which moved my flight to Monday. And then Saturday morning, I got up and was like, that ain't gonna work either. So I ended up renting a car and driving home 11 and a half hours. I had rented a car down in Myrtle Beach, but to change the drop-off point was going to cost me $550. So I took that car back and spent like $300 for this little tiny car. It's called a Hyundai Venue. It's about the size of a roller skate, and I made it home. So. And so my whole family was texting me and calling me, and it's like, making sure I was okay to get home. So it was good. So thanks a lot.
Yeah, I'm $1 happy for that's good news. I'm $5 happy because I'm going to Phoenix for 5 days, where it's 80 degrees, 68 low.
Nice.
I'm $1 happy. I have been saving up money, living with my parents after trying to play golf for a while, and I get the keys to my new apartment today. So I love my parents a lot, but it's time to get out of this.
When I was 16 years old, I couldn't wait to get my driver's license, and I've been driving ever since. Well, this year, now that I'm a woman of a certain age, it was time to renew my driver's license, and I must say that I went with a little trepidation as whether or not I would pass that test. I'm still driving.
Okay.
Oh, God.
I just want to say, I just came from the city provided a pizza party for our public works department for all the hard work that they've done. And so you all know, I didn't know this, but we have 16 vehicles that plow snow on some level, whether it be a truck with a plow or a dump truck with a plow. And they put in 759 man hours over that 4 or 5 day period. So if you see a public works person, say thanks.
They did a great job.
They did.
Cool.
Sorry.
Perfect.
I got a happy dollar because the one thing I dreaded for so long, replacing our sewer line at our house had to be done, and it's now done. I don't have to vacuum my basement anymore. So the dirt pile's still this high though. I'm hoping it settles, but oh well.
All right.
Okay, we got a couple more.
Okay, Judy's flapping her dollar over there.
I get to find myself because I was supposed to get a reader for Lori and I couldn't. So, welcome everybody.
Do we have any?
And I got two happy dollars. One for each. My Miami Redhawks first time ever.
Yes.
Hockey team is ranked and the basketball team is ranked and first time ever. So
Yes.
$200.
Awesome.
I got a happy dollar, through the long ordeal of back in December 2nd, I ordered a dishwasher. And it was supposed to deliver on last Saturday, or Saturday before last. It delivered, but it was kind of messed up, so I called Home Depot and they delivered it up on this past Saturday, and it's supposed to be installed tomorrow.
Yay!
Yeah.
That should suck.
All right. Do we have an answer to our question?
Right.
Why are we called Rotary?
What's that? Why are we called Rotary?
Why are we called Rotary?
Because they used to rotate the meetings around different offices.
You are a Rotary genius, correct.
And top dog, we are up to $298.
We're looking for a yellow ticket number 727.
727.
All right. Let's see if we can find the right car.
Look, Doc.
9 o'clock. Okay. Did you put it in here yet?
Nope.
Five of spades.
Maybe I will next time.
All right. We'll still be looking next week. Okay, well, it is time for our speaker today. Her name is Tammy Schuster. She's founder of a company called Bios Legacy, which is a service to help people preserve their personal histories. And I'm just going to turn it over to her, and we're going to learn all about it. Tammy.
Everybody hear me okay?
Yep.
Never surrender. So yeah, thanks for letting me come and talk to you today. As she said, I am the founder of Bios Legacy, a business I started to help people preserve their personal history, both via either just audio or audio and video. First I want to say what an impressive group you guys are. It's not my first Rotary, but I'm always impressed how well everybody gets along. You give each other accolades. It's just a beautiful thing. Not to mention giving your times and talents on a regular basis to serve your community. So I feel like you guys need a round of applause for that yourself.
But as we start, I want you to think this morning this afternoon for just a couple of minutes. I want you to think about the successes that you've had in your life. How did you make those happen? Who helped you? Who didn't help you? And it's only fair when we think about our successes that we also maybe think about the failures that we've had. What did you learn about yourself? What did you learn about others? What did you do differently afterwards? It's really easy to overlook some of these things as being parts of our personal histories, because usually when we think about what our personal history is made of, we're thinking about our genealogy, the major events that happened in our life, our successes, our careers, and most definitely those things. But it's also the experiences that we've had. sometimes the experiences that are small and we don't think they're important at the time, and they turn out to be just a guiding factor in our life. The people who have touched our lives, all of them, the decisions we've made, our failures. But most importantly, it's about the stories that have shaped us, the ones that we still think about, that make us laugh, that make us maybe cry. Our reflections over what we have done, maybe what we haven't done, what we do differently in our lifetime, the lessons that we have learned along the way. So our personal history is any and everything that has made us who we are today. So have you had the opportunity with your loved ones to tell them about all of your personal history, considering all those things are part of your personal history? Have you asked your loved ones about all of their personal history? And a lot of you are going to say, yes, my loved ones know everything about me, which is great. That's fantastic. That's the way it's supposed to be, right? Okay. Now what? So now how do we save the voices? How do we save the stories that we tell with the emotion that we want them to be told? I mean, we try to pass along our personal histories or our stories and those that came before us from generation to generation to generation, but we'll just take that old game of telephone that we used to play as an indicator as to how well that works, right? You guys remember the game? Somebody starts off with a sentence, you have a group of people, they whisper the sentence to the person next to them, they whisper to the person next to them, and so on until you get to the end of the line, and that last person's supposed to say what that sentence is, and it's never the same. Something gets messed up. Well, generation after generation, the same thing can happen to our stories or what we've learned from life, our perspectives on it. So do we really want our personal histories to suffer that same fate? If you want to take a logical viewpoint on it, we go through great efforts to preserve our physical assets, the things that we accumulate in our lifetime, the way we want them to be preserved, right? We want them, after we're gone, we want to say exactly how we want our stuff to be preserved. Well, what about the truly important things that we gain in our lifetime? Our lessons that we've learned the hard way, our perspectives, the things that cannot be replaced. We really can't let those things go unshared. So I'm going to start with a story that may help illustrate what may get lost when we don't share our stories with our loved ones. And I'm telling the story, all my stories that I tell with permission. People know I'm talking about them. But this story is about a gentleman who entered the service after the war. So it's been a while. And he was barely 20. And he was really excited. He had never really been out of his hometown. He'd not really experienced in the line of relationships. And he was super excited. I'm starting my life. I'm going to see the world. Entered the service, and he got stationed in the U.S. in a port city. And it was great. Life was glorious. He was doing all the things that he wanted to do. And then he met a girl. And life was even better, right? So they immediately clicked, had this great connection. And they were doing everything together, moving on through their life. And then he got another set of orders. And this time it was overseas. Now, this is way back before our days of easy communication with phones and FaceTime. So we're talking snail mail. And he thought, did I mention he was green and not very experienced in relationships? So he thought, oh my gosh, she's going to be so upset. She's going to worry about me. She's going to be heartbroken. I can't let that happen. So I'm just going to tell her that it's a short assignment and I'll be back really quick. Great idea. No. That's what he did, though. He thought that was the best answer. He was just going to lie. And he did. And he left. And I mean, it did not take long, of course. Months after months and letters pass, they get more vague. She's not stupid. She figured out exactly what had happened. He had lied to her. He had lied. And, you know, before he had the opportunity to explain, and honestly, even if he did, that trust was gone. You know, what they thought they had, it was no more. The relationship, it was over. Now he was heartbroken, and she was still heartbroken. And he said the hardest lesson that he learned was that honesty, even when it hurts, is often kinder than a lie that's meant to protect. And how sad would it be if he didn't retell this story for his loved ones? Because it's a great lesson, but there's just an exclamation point put on it when you tell it with this story. Look, this happened to me. I'm not just saying it. Which is a great segue into what do future generations gain from our personal history? Why should we go through great efforts to preserve them? Well, among many things, resilience. Here's just a few of the stories that have been told to me that have touched my life, and I'm sure many of us have the same experience with people who have told them stories of resilience. There's a woman who lost her husband and son both way too early in life. The man who went through a good chunk of his life thinking that he wasn't smart, just to learn later on that he just had an undiagnosed learning disability. Or the veteran who has to come home and start over and try and learn to be himself again. Or think about your stories. How did you get through? What did you do after? What did you do differently? What would you do differently now? See, these stories are a gift to the generations that come after us to show us how we handled our situations, our challenges in our life. And do we do it perfectly? Clearly, no, not always. Sometimes, yes, but no. But isn't that even more of a story to tell? We're also offering the younger generations, those that come after us, a profound sense of belonging. It's security. Don't we all just get a huge sense of confidence when we realize that we're part of something bigger than we are? And then when you learn about the family that comes before you, then you're getting insights into the elements that actually shape your life. Let's contemplate for a minute our customs and our traditions, right? Often they're centered around major events, holidays, the dinner table, things that we do without thinking because we've just always done them that way. Cultural appreciation is fostered by learning and participating in these customs and traditions. And by appreciating our own culture, we're also helping others have empathy for others. And by hearing how our customs and traditions were started, the ones that we're carrying on today, it's building a bridge between the past and now, and then likewise between now and the future. So then you just have to ask yourself, how big of a part of that bridge do I want to be? So those are some great reasons why we should preserve our personal histories. Now I'm just going to spend a couple of minutes debunking some common misconceptions that people have about sharing their personal histories. First, no one asks, so they must not be interested. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. or future generations won't know me. They're not going to care. Well, I promise they are. I have this video clip, and it's just a random selection of some younger people that I know that to briefly speak on their thoughts about the lives of the generations older than them and what they think about hearing about them. No preparation, just total honesty.
I would love to hear their stories and experiences and how times have changed over the years or stayed the same. Getting to hear their own voices tell their stories, even after they're gone, is priceless.
From an older loved one, I would love to learn and hear more about advice and their experiences. I feel like when their time is up here, those are the things that you miss the most, their words of advice and encouragement and what got them through their hard times.
3 out of my 4 grandparents passed away before I graduated high school, and my family and I always say we wish we had more videos and voice recordings of them talking and sharing their memories.
My grandmother did her BIOS interview and then underwent a medical complication that restricted her ability to speak, and she has since passed, and I just can't tell you how much it means to me to have her memories, her advice, some funny stories there in my safe for me to access whenever I can.
It's special to have these stories and these memories told by our loved ones directly and have that recorded so that we can listen to that recording now, but also it's a great thing to pass on that legacy down to future generations.
So unfortunately, I don't know as much about his life as I would like to, because I can imagine that there is a lot I could learn from him, lesson he had learned himself that maybe I could apply to my own life. So, yeah, that's someone I wish I would have asked more, talked to him more about. Unfortunately, those are things you only realize when it's too late.
So then, all this is true. If they're not asking, why aren't they asking? Right? Well, maybe they're too busy. We always think we have plenty of time, right? Or I don't have 3 hours to go and ask grandma about one certain thing, we don't have that. Grandma's going to talk forever. Or maybe it's just too hard to start the conversation. Let's face it, not all of our lives have been a barrel of laughs. And, sometimes it's hard on both ends of the conversation, right? Maybe you don't want that discussion. Maybe you don't want to talk about it. Maybe you don't want to discuss those hard times in your life. But does that mean you want the stories to go away forever? Maybe. I want to tell you about a gentleman that I interviewed recently. We had a great time. But we started our session by he walks into the room and he's like, I hope you have something else planned to do with the rest of your day because we're going to be here for about 20 minutes and I'm only doing this because my wife made me. Well, like I said, we did have fun. And as we got deeper into his life, things did turn emotional. You see, this man, like a lot of men his age and some women, he spent a year in Vietnam. A really, really bad year. And he had stories. I mean, he had some really funny stories. And he had some okay stories. And then he had the really bad stories. And he had never told those before. And he said he was never telling those again. But when we were done, we moved on. We talked about the rest of his life and his future plans. And, when we're all done and we're wrapping things up, we're just chit-chatting. I'm packing up my stuff. And I asked him how he felt. And he said that this was just really cathartic. Was not going to discuss this anymore, those things that happened to him. But the fact that after he was gone, that he had left us, that what happened to him, what happened to his buddies, those facts, those stories would not be gone forever. It gave him a sense of relief. And he said he was taking his interview because I was putting it on a flash drive for him. And he said when he got his flash drive, he was locking in his desk drawer. And then somebody would find it someday. And they were going to learn something. Here's another one I hear. I haven't lived an extraordinary life. Why bother? Well, I have not lived an extraordinary life either, I assure you. But what I do know is that the experiences that I have had make me uniquely qualified to maybe pass on a little bit of advice, maybe a little bit of inspiration. Because let's face it, you don't have to be an astrophysicist or listed on the city's top docs to have had career experiences, right? If we've had a career, we've had career experiences. That one boss, our wonderful coworkers, that one client, or relationships, right? Maybe it's our best friends that has become our life partner, or the one that got away. Because let's face it, if you take technology out of the equation, people are people. Decade after decade, human behaviors are the same. Therefore, all of our experiences with other humans are relevant to the younger generations. I think rumor has it was Mark Twain that said, history doesn't repeat itself exactly, but it often rhymes. Here's another one. I don't like talking about myself. That's fair. A lot of people don't like talking about themselves. A lot of people have not a problem at all talking about themselves. But you have to remember, it's not just about you, right? You're giving the gift of anyone who has touched your life. Because many of the people that have touched your life did not have the opportunity that you do now to sit down and record the stories and tell them the way you want them to be told and to pass on those lessons learned. So when you share how they've touched your life, you're also making sure that they're not forgotten. So your parents' history, your grandparents' history, a sibling, a loved one, a mentor, you get the point. This one might be familiar to some people. You don't have enough to say. Well, I promise you, anybody that's lived, 12 years or more has enough life experience to talk about, but they just need the right prompts. And that's my specialty. I, again, recently interviewed another woman who, together, we discovered her superpower. So her children wanted her to preserve her personal history. And she reluctantly agreed, only because her kids asked her, because that's what we do. But she was just afraid that it was going to be embarrassingly short and boring. But as we went through her life, and as we talked through things, she realized that she was the family anchor, the one that everybody called on, the steady center, the one they confided in, the one everybody checked in with. She was the connective tissue of the family. People who feel that they don't have enough to say just need the platform where someone can help them. So, how do we preserve our personal histories then? How do we do it? What should the process look like? Well, good news is there is no single right way to preserve your personal history. But oftentimes the hesitation disappears when you realize what it should be and what it shouldn't be. It should be natural, conversational, right? It should be told in your own voice, your version of the stories. We should be able to save it. It should not have to be a performance. It should not feel like an assignment, and it's definitely not a one-size-fits-all experience. A lot of people start just by putting memos on their phone or taking out a notebook and writing their memories down in that, or having a conversation with a family member. And these are all excellent options. Others choose a professional to help them guide the conversation, handle the recording, and shape the stories into something that they know will be lasting. And that's the role Bios Legacy, my business, plays for those people who want that support. We create beautiful audio recordings. They're beautifully edited. We offer video services if you want as well for an hour of video. But honestly, people, the method matters much less than the action. We need to do it while the stories are still here to be told. And however you do it, it's going to be a gift that your family cannot recreate. So when is the right time to do this? How about now? What's tomorrow bringing? Really, what's tomorrow bringing? Will we ever be not busy? How often do we say, I meant to do that, I wanted to do that, and then it becomes too late? I miss their voice. It's never too soon, because I know a lot of you are thinking, I got a lot more going on. Yeah, but it's never too soon. We'll just add on later, right? Record these things while they're still fresh in your mind, because the unfortunate truth is that humans tend to dwell on other people's lives after they've left us. By preserving our loved ones' personal histories, our own personal histories now, it gives us the opportunity to dwell on their lives now. Share what you've experienced. Listen to your loved ones share what they have. And whatever method you choose, just get started. Because I have one final question for you. And that's, whose story in your life would you regret not preserving? I'm open for any questions. I'm always here at my business. We offer free consultations, no commitment. It's just to sit down and talk if that's the right avenue for you. But yeah, does anybody have any questions about this subject or what I do at all? Okay. My contact information is also on the table. I have more if you need it afterwards. Thank you for your time today. I really appreciate it.
All right. Well, thank you very much. All right. I need you to draw two of these.
I draw
Two of those.
Pressure.
Yes. I can remember my mother died quite young, and after she had passed away, it was like I had all these questions that I wanted to ask my mom. She was gone, so I couldn't ask those questions. So
I hear that
yeah.
all the time. We don't have to do that anymore, people.
All right, we've got blue ticket 319.
Right here. Right.
Wow. Nice.
It's Fred Sweater. And we have 320. That's probably, oh,
Karen.
it's Karen. All right, then the prizes were from Niels today. And next week it will be Cindy Woodruff. All right, folks, don't forget we have a committee meeting, and I'll see you all next week.